Hey guys, I'm Beth, this is Read Remark, and I figured today I would try to do a Friday Reads post for the first time. Okay, so my understanding of the Friday Reads tag is that we basically just talk about what we've been reading this week, right? Hopefully. I'll give it a try. So this is going to be a little more informal than you're used to from me, which I'm totally okay with. So let's get to it. Okay, so here's what I've been reading this week. I just finished the audiobook version of Ronan Farrow's newest book, Catch and Kill. Now here's a little secret that I'm going to share with you guys. Every now and then I'm asked how I manage to find time to read. And really anyone with any sort of busy lifestyle is often asked the same question. There's often the approach of, well, I don't have time, so you must have scads of free time in your life to be able to read as much as you do. The answer to that for me is audiobooks. That's it. That's the secret. That's the whole beginning and end of it for me is audiobooks. So I work full time with a pretty demanding job. I have a side gig as a photographer, and I'm entering my busy season with it being year-end and people wanting some holiday photos, which I love doing, but again, takes up more time. I have 2 kids, a husband, just a very busy lifestyle. So a lot of you guys are facing the same thing, whether you are students entering final season or even stay-at-home moms who have littles who just are constantly about. Everybody is busy for some reason. Everybody has seasons in their lives in which they just can't even keep up with things. So for me, the thing that has really saved my bacon and allowed me to stay up with literature is audiobooks. Some people call that cheating. I say poo-poo to you. I don't care. I don't really care. I'm okay with it because if that's the only thing I have time for and the alternative is to just not consume any of these new books at all, then I'll take it. I'll take it. And really, it doesn't even have to be like the plan B choice. It can be a perfectly fine plan A. So yes, I'm sounding a little bit defensive, but I'm pretty passionate about it. If you are busy and all you can do right now are audiobooks, that is A-okay, because right now I am in that same boat. Okay, so aside from that, here's what I'm in the middle of reading. I just finished Catch and Kill by Ronan Farrow, the audiobook, of course, and loved it. I loved it, but also it made me very angry. Very angry at the machine that managed to cover up Harvey Weinstein's misdeeds. Let me back up for a second and tell you what the book is about. It's about Harvey Weinstein. It's nonfiction, and it's about all of the sexual harassment that he did and outright assault and rape that he did of these women. And then the machine that kept it covered up for years and years and decades. So Ronan Farrow started catching wind of what was going on and started gathering these women's stories, legit stories that were backed up with audio tape coverage, proof, and NBC still would not air it. They would not publish the story because Harvey Weinstein, they were kind of in his pocket, or he was in their pocket. Someone was in someone's pocket in a possibly harassy way. So basically the story was caught and killed, as were so many stories that could have gone through the National Enquirer. They caught wind of these horrible stories, both about Harvey Weinstein, but about some other bad actors, such as Donald Trump or Matt Lauer, and caught the stories and killed them before they could see the light of day. And it just made me so stressed out, so angry. The only criticism I have of the book is that it was nonfiction, and I listened to the audiobook version of it, and Ronan Farrow did the voices of all the people that he interviewed. Very good voices, really realistic accents that he did for them. I often do voices for the characters that I read, but the people that he was talking about were not necessarily characters, they were real people. And so I think for this genre where it's straightforward reporting, I think the voices were maybe a little too much. It was a little too much for me, and I'm hoping it didn't take away from the story. And he made a really conscious effort to not put the focus on himself through the entire reporting process. I'm hoping that the voices that he used didn't manage to somehow subliminally do that, put the emphasis on how well he did the voices. So, small little piece of criticism that I have for it. The entire thing was so good. I have She Said on hold at the library, so I'm hoping to do that one next. Excited, but also dreading it because I know it's going to stress me out too. I just get so angry on behalf of these women who had to deal with this. And angry about the system that covered it up for so long. It's almost like these women were victimized all over again. The whole thing just got me kind of worked up. So, moving on from that to something completely pleasant, I said sarcastically. I next did Dear Wife by Kimberly Belle. Actually just finished that one on my way home today. I thought that I wouldn't finish it in time for today's Friday Reads Talk, but I did. And it was a book that talked about a woman who was escaping an abusive husband, fiction book, and was trying to make a new life for herself, but was doing it very, very carefully and secretively because she knew that her abusive husband would pull out all the stops to find her and to abuse her some more. So, very disturbing, very suspenseful, but let me tell you how clueless I am. Okay, so at night when I go to bed, oftentimes my head just keeps racing. My brain keeps running over things during the day or just random crap that my brain decides to bring up. I can't really get it to shut off and shut up so I can go to sleep. So usually I will listen to audiobooks to help myself just focus in on that and go to sleep because my mind won't be racing all over the place. A lot of people experience this, I've noticed. So I'll be listening to my story and my husband will come in and go to bed kind of in the middle of the story, and so he'll only catch like pieces of these random audiobooks that I'm listening to. So he came in maybe about halfway through, listened to about 45 minutes of this book while I was falling asleep, and I was just so wrapped up in the story I didn't realize what was happening. So the next morning he said to me, you know, I bet that what's really happening is that character X is actually character Y, and this is going on where you think that this is going on. And I was like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. He was right. He was right. There was a twist in the story apparently that he figured out pretty quickly after listening to the middle of the story for just a little bit that I did not catch until almost the end. So either he's very perceptive or I'm very clueless. Either way, the author told a very good story. It was really good. It was almost like, what's the word? Almost like continuing the descent into stress after reading Catch and Kill by Ronan Farrow. Continuing the descent in distress, but then somehow getting my revenge fantasy from it. I hope I'm not spoiling the book by saying that. I don't want to give away any plot points other than to say it was a good book. I enjoyed it. Kimberly Belle is a really good page-turning author for me. All right, so those are my Friday reads. Can't wait to see what the rest of you guys are reading, and I'll catch you next week. Bye. I just realized my dog is eating one of my favorite cups. Oops.